Everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. My name is Mackenzie Darling, and I'm coming live from San Francisco at our film studio called Let It Ripple. Today I'm going to be going over best practices to host your own Character Day event, which is happening on September 22nd this year. And we are so proud to have our partners, Facing History and ourselves, join the call. We have Elaine, the San Francisco director, who's going to be talking about their programming and different ways that you can incorporate their curriculum into your classrooms. So I'm going to spend about 10-15 minutes just going over Character Day, and then I'm going to be kicking it over to Elaine. Just a couple housekeeping items to start off with. If you have any questions, we would love to field them at the end of this webinar. So there's a little blue button. Just type in your questions there, or feel free to go on Twitter. It's at Global Character, and at the end of this, we'll be more than happy to answer any of your calls or your questions. So a little bit of background on how Character Day started, where, as I mentioned, we're a film studio, and we created this film called Science of Character, which is an 8-minute film of the neuroscience behind character development and growth mindset. And so we decided to do this experiment where we wanted to try to have a global film premiere where people from all over the world would join in, watch these films, use our discussion materials to really engage in conversations around who are you and who do you want to be in the world. So in 2014, Character Day was born. We had 1,500 groups around the world participating. And so we very quickly realized that people were hungry for this type of conversation. The next year, in 2015, we added 2 more films, The Adaptable Mind and The Making of a Mensch, which I'll be talking about a little later in this presentation. In 2015, we had close to 7,000 groups participating. And this year, we are very, very excited to announce that we have over 45,000 groups participating in 70 countries. And we're not even to Character Day yet. So it's not too late to sign up. You can go to characterday.org. It takes 2 minutes to sign up, and there's tons of resources on there to help you plan your perfect event. So what is Character Day? It's a day to really focus on ourselves in the 21st century that we live in. It's a day to, as I mentioned before, stop and ask yourself, who am I and who do I want to be in the world? So why is this so important? Well, character used to really be the backbone of education, and this was really seen more as religious, and so it was taken out of the everyday classrooms. But as we're seeing now on the news and you know, the climate that we're living in now, a lot of people are realizing that this needs to be put back into the classroom and really focusing on character strengths and how to develop these further. So as I've been calling on a lot of schools and districts and corporations, it's really great to see that social and emotional learning curriculum has been embedded back in. And this is really taking off, and it's a great way for Character Day to kind of kick this off in the beginning of the school year, or even in corporations, congregations, or even with your family, to bring awareness of, you know, what you bring to the world, and then bring this on 365 days out of the year. So to start off, I wanted to show you our periodic table of character strengths. This is a poster that we offer in our discussion materials. And this is a great poster. You can download this off of our website from characterday.org, so you can print this out yourself. Or again, you can order our discussion materials, which I can get further into along in the presentation. But I just want to show you on this poster, there's 24 character strengths, and then there's 6 different virtues. And so if you're really focusing on these different columns of the character strengths, so for instance, wisdom, if you're working on creativity, curiosity, love of learning, and perspective, it shall give you more wisdom. A lot of people print this out and put it on their refrigerators. We've been working with San Francisco Unified School District, where the associate superintendent printed out about 500 of these and put them in, you know, all the various classrooms around the district. So it's really a great resource for you to really reference on a daily basis. So here's a picture of our discussion kits that we offer. So we have 2 discussion kits that we make available. The first one is for the science of character, and then the second one is for the making of a mensch. And both of them, as featured before, we have the poster, and then we have 45 different cards that have questions relating to the film, and then larger questions to really field conversation around character development. And what's nice about these is that they have various age ranges. So you can start from 4-year-olds having discussions around this all the way up to people that are 100. The discussion materials are available on our discussion kits part of the characterday.org. The cutoff to be getting these shipped is September 7th, so please make sure to order these if you're interested in them. And we also have all of the materials available online as well, so if you miss that cutoff, feel free to order them or have them there as well. The discussion kits themselves are free of charge. However, we do have to cover our costs as a nonprofit for shipping and handling. So what we do suggest is if you're going to be doing a bulk order, order them all at once, and then you can have it shipped to you and then individually disperse them throughout the schools and the classrooms. So the 3 films that we're going to be showcasing again this year, I had mentioned The Science of Character earlier, which again is an 8-minute film of the neuroscience behind growth development and character development. We have The Adaptable Mind, which is one of my personal favorites. It's a 10-minute film, and it covers what makes us human in this ever-changing technological world that we live in. And then the last one is The Making of a Mensch, which is also a 10-minute film. And that's really similar to The Science of Character, but it's through a Jewish lens and the teachings of Musar. We're also very, very excited to announce that we're going to be curating 3 other additional films from amazing filmmakers. We are going to be featuring from Bim Bam, Class Dojo, and Gratitude Revealed. And what's really nice about all of these offerings is that it's, again, something for everyone, everyone can take something away from, and all different ages will be represented to be able to take part in Character Day. So what unifies all of these things together is that we're going to be having a global live cast discussion for 24 hours happening on September 22nd. So what this will be is we're having various social and emotional learning experts who will be joining us on a live cast on the hour for 30 minutes. And we definitely, urge you to sign up and participate and get into the conversation. I'm very excited to announce some of our speaker lineups. We have Martin Seligman, basically the father of positive psychology, Angela Duckworth, and her work on grit and growth mindset. And then lastly, we have Sal Khan from Khan Academy, just to name a few. So please do, again, sign up at characterday.org. And the moment that you're able to sign up, I will be sending out additional emails on how to actually get involved in this hangout as we go further. Another exciting thing that we're working on, or we have been working on for the past year, is we're building out an educational resource hub. So as I'm talking to different schools and organizations, they're so excited about joining in on this conversation on September 22nd, Character Day. But the question has been, but then what? So we've been working with amazing partners, some of them, just to name a few, Common Sense Media, Department of Education, Born This Way Foundation, just to name a few. And we found all of these aggregators with wonderful resources such as books, movies, apps, articles, what have you. And what we've done is we've brought them all together into an educational resource hub where educators, parents, corporations, individuals can come in and search by age range, what character strength they're looking for, and then what modality. So this will be going live September 22nd, and it's going to be an amazing resource for everyone to be working more on their character strengths 365. On top of that, we're also going to be offering an app, which will also be going live September 22nd. And again, if you sign up for Character Day, we'll be having more information coming to you around that. And so here's just a quick picture of the idea of what this educational resource hub looks like. So you can see, you can filter it by I am a person, I am an educator, looking for all media, or maybe you're looking for podcasts, movies, what have you, about empathy, kindness, grit, and then what age range. And then again, here's just a little preview of our app and what it would look like. So what can your character day look like? So first of all, I would recommend you going to characterday.org, and we have a wonderful section on that webpage that has a page for educators, corporations, congregations, and for families, and it gives wonderful insight into samples of a 30-minute character day, an hour character day, a day-long character day, and then different ideas of how you can market that, and then add on supplemental activities as well if you're interested. So to make a long story short, Character Day can look and feel any which way that you want it to. We're really just here to provide the resources. So we have the films, the poster, the discussion kits, the global live cast, but it's really up to you what you want your day to look and feel like. So it can be any size. That means it can be in a huge auditorium with thousands of people, or it can be, you know, a family of 4 just sitting in their living room and watching some of the films. You can watch one of the films. You can watch all of our films. You can use the discussion materials. It's really up to you. It can be anywhere and then any time during the day. So September 22nd, it could be at noon. It could be 6 o'clock at night. Again, completely up to you. Some of the suggested activities that we do say on our website: filming the screens, doing breakout sessions with the discussion materials, bringing in special speakers, hosting panels, doing, you know, special assemblies, or even bringing in Character Day for your after-school programming. Art projects are really, really fun. Doing community outreach, so doing a service project and giving back to your community. Video submissions, we're definitely looking on the day of for video submissions of your own Character Day and how that went for you, and sharing that on social media. Again, at Global Character Day, hashtag Character Day 2016. So speaking of Twitter and passing it on, as I mentioned, our hashtag is Character Day 2016, a global character. I'd urge you to like Character Day on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for up-to-the-date information on new happenings around this event. And then, you know, we have a wonderful 1-minute trailer on characterday.org site. It's really wonderful to share with your community that gives a, you know, great overview of what this day is all about. And so lastly, here is my contact information. As I mentioned, I'm the Character Day producer. I'm here to answer any and all of your questions to make sure that your day is hosted brilliantly and that you have a wonderful, wonderful experience. So I hope that that was helpful for you. And without further ado, I would love to kick this over to our friend Elaine at Facing History and Ourselves.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Mackenzie, and thank you so much for the opportunity to share the excitement about Character Day. My name is Elaine Guarnieri-Nunn. I'm the San Francisco Director of Facing History and Ourselves, and I would like to spend the next couple of minutes just giving you an overview of Facing History, what we do, our program, and how we support teachers across the country and across the world. So my first slide, and I think it's coming up, fabulous. The first slide, or the next slide, talks about who we are. So Facing History and Ourselves was created 40 years ago in 1976 by educators for educators. And what we do is we offer tools and methods and ideas for educators worldwide to share the goal of creating a better, more informed, and more thoughtful society and citizenry. So, next slide. Fabulous. So, Facing History at a glance, we are celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. We have 7 offices across the country, and we work with 2 partner organizations, an office in London and an office in Toronto. So we impact roughly 4.8 million students in 134 countries. Here in the Bay Area, we've been here for almost about 20 years, and we currently are in 680 schools across 9 different counties. So our impact is very great, and we work specifically with middle and secondary humanities teachers, so social studies and English teachers. And what we do is we equip them with rigorous content. We produce content materials, both digital and hard copy, and we offer them professional development, both face-to-face and online. So the next slide gives you a sense of our reach. Facing Histories believes that we can create the next generation of upstanders, and we do this by taking a deep dive into history and literature, and our resources offer students critical moments in history and in literature where people had to make choices. And by examining those choices that ordinary people make, students begin to analyze and reflect upon decisions and choices that they are making themselves, and whether to strengthen democracy, and by looking at choices that people make, they can see that they can have a positive impact in the future. So this slide shows you some of the many resources. Our approach uses a case study approach, and our first case study was looking at the steps that led to the Holocaust in Nazi Germany, and that's our first case study, Holocaust and Human Behavior. But since then, we look at other case studies, and so that slide gives you a little sense of the different points in history. So we look at race and membership in the United States by looking at the American eugenics movement. We look at choices in Little Rock to look at the integration of Central High, and look at the choices that both white and African Americans citizens made at that critical moment in history. We have a resource guide on the Armenian genocide, and we have multiple resources around pieces of literature. Again, all these resources are on our website, and they're free for download. In the middle, we have just to give you a sense of some of the themes that run throughout our resources. We look at the individual and society, and the power of difference, and the power of label, the labels, choices in human behavior, multiple perspectives, and moral and ethical dilemmas. Again, we offer students a very safe space in which to analyze today's very difficult issues through the lens of human behavior and the lens of history. We really build teacher capacity to have these types of conversations. Facing History, there's a nice overlap with what Mackenzie just talked about with social emotional learning. Facing History's approach fully supports social emotional learning by offering students opportunities to look at multiple perspectives and to do some ethical reflection and their own self-reflection. So the one key in the next slide that runs throughout all our case studies is what we call the scope and sequence, and it's really the curricular journey that teachers and students take. We start with issues of identity. We ask students to examine who they are, what are the factors that make up their identity, what groups do they belong to, what are the in-groups and out-groups, what are the costs of giving up aspects of their identity in order to belong, the power of labels. We move into a discussion of we and they, and who is the other. And so by starting with issues of identity, we have that emotional engagement that when we actually move through the case study, when we get to the case study, students have this vocabulary of moral decision making already established. And again, they look at choices that ordinary people made, whether it was a German citizen to take an oath in 1936. Does he take an oath to pledge allegiance to the Nazi government or not? Again, very small decisions which had huge consequences. We then move into questions of legacy. How do we remember difficult histories? Questions of judgment. Who's right? How do we assess people on a scale of accountability? And then finally, the last piece of our scope and sequence is called choosing to participate. And that is, after looking at the range of human behavior, looking at the role of bystanders, perpetrators, victims, we then have a discussion with students about being an upstander. Who are the people in the past and who are the people in the present who take the courageous acts to stand up against injustice? So this scope and sequence runs throughout all our case studies. And the next slide really shows the underpinnings of the Facing History approach. We believe that in the middle, if we are trying to, and we believe in an informed and engaged citizenry, civic responsibility comes from a triumvirate. So it is rigorous content with emotional engagement and ethical reflection. So by looking at content, whether it's To Kill a Mockingbird, whether it's other examples of collective violence, by looking at content with this beginning of the scope and sequence and looking at identity, you have relevance, students have relevance, and it allows them to reflect upon decision making in the past and, importantly, decisions that they're making today. So that is just a little bit about Facing History. Just wanted to call your attention. Please, we really welcome people to come check out our website. We have a wealth of material there. Again, we offer support for middle and secondary social studies and English teachers. We also work with science teachers and art teachers. All the materials are up on our website. They are free. All you need to do is register, and you can download any of the materials. And on our website, you will also see upcoming professional development. We have face-to-face workshops and seminars throughout our regions, including in the Bay Area. And we also have a number of online webinars and online courses, and all that information can be found on our website. And finally, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the exciting things that are happening in the fall, and that might be of interest for you. One, we just launched a new resource that we co-created with the News Literacy Project called Facing Ferguson, News Literacy in a Digital Age. And this looks at the events of the shooting of Michael Brown in 2014 and the subsequent events that unfolded through the lens of digital literacy. We ask questions: how has social media changed the information landscape? How does bias influence our media consumption? So this is a wonderful resource to engage students around current events, but through the lens of looking at bias in media and examining the role of individuals. The next exciting initiative we have is we're celebrating our Facing History at 40, and we have Face the Future. It's an online global community conversation. It is a game. It runs 30 hours, and it's November 13th and 14th, and we invite you to come to our website and check it out. It's really looking at the future of empathy. And finally, I just wanted to cite some of our online professional development courses and workshops. I have them there. All that information is on our website, and we invite you to explore. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Elaine, for sharing a little bit more about Facing History and ourselves. We are so excited that you guys are partners and think that your work and what you're doing is of the utmost importance. So thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So we're going to open this up to any questions right now. Just a little reminder, there's that blue button on your screen. Feel free to shout out any questions that you might have. You can also do on Twitter at Global Character, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions. So we'll give it just a minute or two and wait for questions. As we're waiting, Elaine, I'd love to ask you, so how do you know that students are engaged in your program? Can you kind of tell me a little bit more about that? I was just curious.
Sure. Facing History has over 140 evaluation results, both internal and external, that look at a number of different characteristics, both at the teacher and the student level. So Facing History has been shown to decrease bullying, increase student efficacy, which really means their feelings that they can create positive change, and also teacher efficacy. Teachers feel better equipped to navigate difficult conversations in the classroom. So,
awesome, great, that's great. I don't think we have any other questions. So we're going to wrap it up for now, but thank you everyone for joining us. We very much appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. And again, if you have any questions, please do write to me. It's Mackenzie, Makenzie, @letitripple.org. All right, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your week, everyone. Thanks so much.